Welcome to the GCNTech show. My name's Giuseppe and you are?
Oliver Bridgewood.
Coming up this week we have massive rings, the passing of an icon, beautiful customization, new bikes, mountain bike technology and American news?
Correct. We also have the winner of the most desirable bike in the world, which you've all been voting on for about 6 weeks.
God, I'm absolutely buzzing to find out of this. Should we start the show?
Let's do it. So first up this week, we've got the results of the final poll from the most desirable bike in the world. Are you ready for the results?
Oh,
Alex?
I'm ready. Oh boy.
I'm going to bring them in.
Yeah.
Right. So the final was between the Cannondale SystemSix, the Pinarello Dogma F, and the Canyon Aeroad CFR.
Three-way final, wasn't it?
In third place, with 28% of the vote,
Drum roll, please.
the Cannondale.
The Cannondale SystemSix.
Yeah.
Second place, I'm going to make it less dramatic. Second place, 31% of the votes, Canyon Aeroad.
Why do you? Why?
Well, you can
Ham it up.
You can go dramatic
But
for the final.
You've got to be dramatic for the second one, because that announces the final.
Oh, I've screwed it right up. We have to wait till
I'll
next
teach you how
year
to do it.
fix
It's how
that.
you do it. It's how you do it, right?
Yeah.
You go right. In second place, with 31% of the vote, the Canyon Aeroad, meaning that the Pinarello Dogma F is the most desirable bike in the world.
You did do much better than me, actually, in fairness.
Got to be excited.
41% Pinarello Dogma F. How has it won again?
It's won again.
People are actually going to think this is a fix, but it's not.
Well, that's
Just to clarify.
Thanks to everyone that's voted in this over the last 6 weeks. It's been a long process, and it's been a democratic process. All you guys have voted in it. I want to make that clear with people that are going to go, yeah, this is a fix.
It's not.
It's not.
It's down to everyone at home.
Absolutely couldn't be.
I mean, I did try and influence the vote. I voted on the bike that I thought was most desirable. I joined in. That said, as we pointed out at the start of this process, the brands that we've included in this competition are the big brands. They're off-the-shelf models like high-performance racing bikes, because we did mention that we didn't want to put them up against, say, smaller custom brands, because we didn't feel like it was fair to have the small guys up against the big dogs.
Yeah, because we've done polls in the past where we've put really desirable, like small bespoke brands up against the major brands, but they just can't compete. While a lot of people do love those smaller brands, the mainstream brands tend to have a much bigger following and tend to win. That said, we would love to do a sort of another desirable bike thing, but restrict it to those to custom brands. Brands that offer like custom made bikes. That are,
Like smaller numbers.
Yeah. There's loads of them out there and they're great. The other thing is why we didn't want to put them in with the big brands is because it would just make the whole thing far too long. I mean, this has had knockout rounds each week and it's taken 6 weeks.
Just imagine, think all the way back to when we made an absolute mess of the first draw.
Exactly. But if this is something you'd like to see, like a most desirable bike, voted on from the smaller bespoke brands, let us know in the comments down below. And if there's enough demand for it, we will definitely do it. So Pinarello Dogma F, 2 years running.
Blows my mind.
Well, I absolutely love mine. I think it's beautiful. I love the way it looks and also the way it rides and handles. But what do you think, Bertrand, as to why it is the most desirable bike in the world? That's you.
Why Bertrand?
Don't worry about that, carry on.
Well, it's interesting you asked me because I knew you were going to ask me this question and I've made a list. Let me get my list.
Right.
Well, I wanted to actually genuinely have some sort of good, constructive ways of looking at this because I think what makes a bike desirable is going to be different for lots of different people. And whilst I was upstairs in the office before we filming the show today, I asked a couple of different people actually to get their opinions. So first, there's in no particular order, but some interesting points to take away. Some people are talking about having bikes in limited numbers makes them feel more desirable.
I think in the case of the Pinarello F, the price makes it exclusive.
Yeah, that's also on my list. That was third on my list actually. Just the design and the look of a bike. I think a lot of people I spoke to earlier are saying they would, in some instances, solely go off how cool a bike looks. So maybe if it's got like a custom paint job, or if it's got some unique design features. Other things here, is it used by some of the world's best riders?
Yeah.
So what teams are using that type of bike or equipment? The fact it might not be accessible by lots of different people, high-tech components, design we've touched on, but an interesting point somebody raised upstairs, it was George actually, he said people might consider a bike to be desirable based off of how sort of eco or friendly the company is. Whether it's got like good sort of ethics to the company as well.
Yeah, although carbon bike manufacturing isn't...
It's not great for the environment, is it?
The greenest of things. Yeah, that's interesting.
Personally, my personal opinion is something becomes desirable to me if I feel like it's a challenge to achieve having it.
Yeah.
Which I think is, with a Pinarello Dogma F, is quite difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the interesting things for me within this list is the fact that the Pinarello Dogma F hasn't won the biggest race in cycling.
Oh no, it's not.
The Tour de France, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you ask bike manufacturers what is their ultimate goal, is have a rider win the Tour de France.
Yeah, but it's won other bike races though.
It has won other bike races, but what it makes me think is, say Pogacar, and Jumbo. I'm surprised with, and Remco as well. He's won he's won the Vuelta, but I'm surprised to see that their successes on Colnagos and Cervelos hasn't made them more desirable.
Yeah, okay.
Because they've been the two most dominant players.
Well, there's lots
Pogacar
of factors
and
to take into account.
Yeah, but there are.
I'm just going back to the Dogma F you're saying about hasn't won like the Tour de France, but Carapaz won the Olympic gold on it. Giro 2021. Bernal. Pidcock.
That's the only Grand Tour the F has won.
Yeah. Pidcock on the stage finishing up after.
Yeah, they didn't win the Tour, but they did win that. That
was a mega stage, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was mega.
Like the best stage of the Tour, and it showcased the bike downhill and uphill in a very cool way.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think when you buy a bike, a large part of it, and perhaps the most dominant part of the buying process, is just an emotional decision.
Yeah.
Like when people buy cars, it's mostly emotional.
Yeah.
And the F is a bike that, I feel it looks great, and clearly a lot of other people think it looks great as well. I know there are some detractors, don't like the kink in the top tube and stuff, but most people seem to think it looks great. The other thing though is it's not just style. There's a lot of good engineering and behind it as well. So there's been a lot of very smart people involved in the design process of the F8 going through to the F. Like Dimitris Katsanis has been involved.
Absolute icon.
From the Secret Squirrel Club back in the day. And then there's all the, he was involved in Ganazawa record bike as well. It's not, it's aero. It's one of the sort of lightest aero bikes. It's got stuff like 3D printed titanium hardware in there to keep the weight down.
So it's using like the seat clamp and other areas as well?
There's a few other little bits and pieces.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, threaded bottom bracket though as well. Practical,
so it kind of ticks lots of different boxes in lots of different aspects, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, it uses fancy pants carbon fibre as well, which not a lot of people probably know this, but it uses this M40X from Torre, which is the best carbon fibre pre-preg that you can get to make bikes at the moment. And it's in the Canyon CFR frames. They use that same top-end carbon, super, super light, but it's not available to all brands. So again, that does add to that desirability, that exclusivity.
Tell you what else we've overlooked so far, I haven't mentioned. It's Italian.
It is. It definitely gives desirability points, doesn't it?
Italian brands are often perceived to be desirable brands, irrespective of what it is. It's just
cars and bikes, cool.
Clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what's done it 2 years in a row. Just Italian. Who knows? Right, anyway, I think that sort of wrapped up this year's most desirable bike. Let us know in the comments section down below if you want us to start a fresh round of desirable bikes, but
custom
bikes.
Smaller brands, bespoke brands.
Oh, yeah, it's a sturdy bike for me.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right, it's going to take us forever to do that. We should be done by Christmas. We begin Hot Tech with some sad news this week, actually.
Yes, on Monday we learned of the passing of Ugo de Rosa, aged 89, near Milan. Along with his compatriots Fausto Pinarello and Ernesto Colnago, he was regarded as one of the pillars of Italian bike design and engineering. He began De Rosa in 1953 and manufactured bikes for some of the biggest names in the sport, including Eddie Merckx, Francesco Moser and Moreno Argentin. And doing so, he delivered them to some of their biggest wins throughout their careers. His bikes were instrumental in the post-war years through to the new millennium, and they won many of the biggest races in cycling: Giro d'Italia, Paris-Roubaix, the World Championships, and the hour record. Tell you what,
Go on.
John Canning's his most favourite bike of all time as well.
Wow.
His most favourite bike is a De Rosa.
There you go.
High praise indeed.
Rest in peace, Ugo. Yeah. Next, we have American news, because Time have announced that they are going to be building a carbon fibre factory in America. It's said to be 140,000 square feet in size, and I think it's going to be built in Landrum. It says SC, which I initially thought was Southern California, but you informed me it's not.
Oh, you limey. It's
What?
South Carolina.
South
It's actually going to be
Carolina.
in Spartanburg County.
Anyway,
I've been there before.
Other good news about it is it's rumoured to be creating 105 new jobs, I think. Quite a precise number. I feel like you should estimate a bit
It is.
more.
They say it's going to be the biggest carbon fibre factory in America making bicycles.
Yes.
That's impressive.
That's big news.
It's also interesting because you've got here what is regarded as, well, we're talking about desirability,
Yeah.
a highly desirable European product that's going to be manufactured in America.
Yeah.
Presumably because I think they're still keeping their European manufacturing.
Oh, that was my next question to you, actually.
This is in addition to that, so they can expand, and it means that, well, the American audience and customers can buy, presumably this is why they're doing it, I'm speculating here, without having to pay heavy import duty.
That's the thing which trashes lots of products,
Well,
isn't it?
it's why car brands, you know, you look at European car brands like BMW have located to the States to build cars for the American audience.
It's interesting. All right.
Last week was the Taipei Bike Show. Now, unfortunately, we were unable to make it over to Taipei, which is I was disappointed about that because
I've never been able to go yet. No, I've never experienced it.
I've always loved when I visited Taipei. It's a really cool city. And, well, fortunately, Nut, our colleague from GCN Japan, was able to go there, and he's given us the lowdown on some of the cool things he's seen. Starting with this bike. It's called the Trigon AR01. Now, Trigon is a brand that's Taiwanese, but it's not well established in Europe.
No.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
However, Trigon is one of those brands that does do a lot of manufacturing and making of bikes and frames for some of the most desirable brands in the world, shall we say? I
think that's fair to
although
say.
they try and keep quiet about who that is.
Keep on the low
There's
down.
NDAs in place. But the bike that he was really drawing our attention to is called the AR01. So this AR stands for all round. So it's an all-round race bike, similar sort of vein to the S-Works Tarmac. So it's pretty light, but it's also pretty aero, dropped seat stays and stuff, and other aero features, lots of integration, but not as aero as like a dedicated full-on
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's how lots of brands have taken their they've taken their lightweight bike and added a bit of aero to it to make it an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but interesting, I was just looking at the price. This thing is unbelievable. So $8,990 for the carbon version built up with Dura Ace Di2.
Yeah,
nuts.
and fulcrum carbon wheels on it as well. So like very top spec build.
Yeah.
Certainly looks to be offering, while that is a lot of money, a lot of value, big saving over the comparable price for an S-Works Tarmac, which is coming in at say $1,400, $1,500.
It's also got the UCI approved sticker on it.
It is UCI approved.
But I'm assuming it's not for the caliper fairing covers.
Yes, so it's got some interesting features on it. One of which is little sort of aero fairings which go over the brake calipers because it's disc brake to make them more aerodynamic.
Fun Police won't stand for that, will they?
Yeah, hang on.
Where's that poster? Bear with while we get the poster.
They have no jurisdiction here, though. Although I still need to get a frame for that.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, they are removable, I would suspect.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they are not UCR legal. The frame is UCR legal. Another very nice detail on it is the cockpit, which is fully all integrated and looks very looks very smart. I noticed it's got little Di2 shifters hidden in the tops as well.
Oh, yeah?
I've not seen many bikes come with that, but that's a really cool.
Well, that was initially
on that top model.
Well, it was initially something Shimano incorporated in their own like pro brand handlebars.
Yeah. I'd love to have those. I think they're really useful.
Okay.
And you may have noticed the surface dimpled.
I hadn't noticed it, but please
So
tell me
if you can
more.
see the surface is dimpled like a golf ball.
Yeah.
This is the idea is that it makes the bike more aero by disrupting the boundary layer
On the actual frame.
on the actual frame.
Because people have spoken about this before, and I would have been someone to sort of go, oh, it doesn't matter that much.
There was a French brand a few years ago, which I've not heard much from recently, called, I don't know if they're still going, called Heroin Bikes. I mean, the name doesn't translate
Maybe not a desirable brand.
Doesn't translate well into English.
Yeah.
But Heroin Bikes had that dimpled effect on them. And, well, in theory, it should be a beneficial thing. It's a difficult thing to manufacture. I mean, that's why a lot of brands haven't done it.
Yeah.
It's quite costly to manufacture. But I don't know if do you remember Mythbusters did a episode where they put clay over a car and dimpled it, and it actually made it reduce the drag.
Wow. I mean, we're not seeing any stats on this, but it'd be interesting to see.
It would,
some.
yeah. I would love to get hold of it and weigh it as well and see what it weighs. But it looks really good. I'm impressed by it so far.
More Taipei tech next, because at the start of the show, I promised people massive rings. 70-tooth chainring. Yeah.
I'm glad you're not letting people down.
No. Probably not a chainring for climbing, I'm going to say.
70-tooth chainring, yeah, from Mike.
Mike? Because
Mike.
I mean, I'm sure I hope people agree with me. I always thought it was Mish.
Yeah, not Mitchy.
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 I'm not as bad as Mitchy.
Yeah.
No. Whatever.
Mike. I'd say, you know what we should do?
What
we
should
should definitely do a list of brands that people mispronounce.
Mostly me. You save me a lot of time, man.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
So Mike have made 72 chain rings for the Italian pursuit team. So Ganna, Milan.
They've had to make chain rings to keep up with Ganna's ability.
Ganna needs a 70 tooth for the Olympics. That's what that is. That's ridiculous.
That's bordering on coming to the point of the edge of the chain ring is going to be where the pedal is.
Well, apparently for the last Olympics, Ganna used a 68, and he was like, "It's not big enough. I need bigger.
Oh no!
I need bigger." So I've gone to a 70.
As you do.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't ride uphill on a 50-tooth chain ring. Yeah. Well, he's not riding uphill, is he? Next up in Hot Tech, we have some custom bike stuff from Kosuke Masuda.
Yes, so we've featured him on the channel before because he's an artist from Japan. He's incredible.
Was that S-Works with like the gold hand-painted stuff?
The specialised ethos that was all hand-painted, and his style is phenomenal. I love his work. He's also etched cranksets before, like he did a Jura Ace crankset. Remember
I do remember that. Yeah.
Well, he's been at it again.
What's he up to this time?
I spotted some Campagnolo Delta brakes on his Instagram
nuts for
page.
this stuff, don't they?
Delta brakes. Everyone loves Delta brakes. They're like one of the most sort of lauded and celebrated Campagnolo products.
Do you know I reckon who loves them the most out of anyone?
Who?
John Cannings.
I reckon John Cannings loves them. Yeah. But he's got Delta brakes and he's etched them and engraved them with artwork. They look amazing.
I would love to have the patience and skill to be able to do this.
Get your Dremel out.
Yeah. No
Maybe you should do that. Get your Dremel multi out.
I'm not doing that.
And just see what you can do.
I don't want to ruin a set of cranks.
Scratch.
Scratch everything. Oh, no.
Do some initials.
I couldn't do it. Do you know why I know I couldn't do it?
Why not?
When we very first got Buster, our dog, ages ago.
He ate your Dremel multi.
Nope. I tried to write our phone number.
You tried to Dremel Buster?
No, the little dog tag, I tried to write our phone number on with Dremel, couldn't do it, so I had to go and pay and get it done. I'll rule that out for me. Yeah. While you're recovering from that, just laughing at my lack of skill. Mountain bike tech is what I want to discuss next. Something that I feel like you have to bear with me.
Right.
Because
mountain bike tech.
Yeah, I feel like you'd normally shoot down mountain bike
everyone's turning off.
Oh,
what are you doing?
Fear not, it's not GNBN.
Everyone's going on to some other video.
Nah, right. So SRAM recently launched a new mountain bike group set, the Eagle range. but it's got some really interesting design features. You don't even know what the design features are yet.
It's mountain bike.
Yeah, but it's interesting design
carry
features.
on.
Okay, so SRAM have seemingly done away with the derailleur hanger.
Yeah.
So the derailleur now mounts directly onto the rear axle. So you've got a few different axle standards, but they're using the one which is most common in mountain biking. You have to forgive me for not knowing this. But it's interesting to see how they're made like incredibly strong. A lot of the sort of promotional stuff around it.
There's been people standing on it.
People standing on bikes getting
I've
smashed
seen those
to pieces.
videos.
Yeah, kind of crazy. So that's interesting. Sections of the derailleur body are replaceable. So if you scuff it up, you can just like, it's like, you just take that shiny bit off and put a new shiny bit on, which I think is cool.
Or you could get Kosuke to just go and, just Dremel a pattern into the scratched part.
But some of the technology I think would be interesting to incorporate, maybe not necessarily onto road bikes, but gravel bikes I think it could be a good place.
Well, maybe it's good for road bikes. I mean, bent mech hangers is a real pain on road bikes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there.
I mean, it feels less likely to happen on a road bike unless you had a big crash.
I don't know. I think a lot of the time people just knock their mech without even noticing.
But I think it could be good for gravel more than road. Interesting. The lower pulley wheel as well, I don't know if you've seen this. If, say, a stick goes into the pulley wheel and normally would stop it and jam it immediately, the pulley wheel has like a center section which can remain static and then the teeth around the edge can continue to rotate. It's like a double, almost like double bearing system.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That's cool.
I feel like you're less interested than me, but I appreciate you like absorbing it, taking it on board. Yeah, it means a lot. It's now time for comments of the week, one of our favourite parts of the show.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and should we have the man on rap jingle?
Fire away.
Naturally. Hit it.
Some people say the presenters are hilarious, others appreciate the cycling tips they share with us. The fans are diverse from all around the world and the GCN team loves to give them a shout out. So shout out to the GCN team for their comments of the week, for bringing us together no matter how unique. We are the fans of cycling, we share all the passion. Right on y'all, let's make the cycling world our fashion.
So before we dive into the comments actually, I want to just raise a little point here.
Yep.
So if you look over on the GCNTech YouTube channel, there's a community section where you can put posts and polls and things like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Somebody took it upon themselves to create a poll where we tried to decide my name. Apparently Giuseppe was most popular.
Yeah.
You've decided to go with Bertrand. Any reason for that?
Bertrand Russell.
Who's that?
Don't worry about that. Anyway, yeah, I think it's still open to debate. I don't think, But anyway, M. Morms, under last week's show, said the tech show is best when Bert and Ernie host. Nice to see them back. I don't...
Who's that?
I don't know who that is.
No.
No.
Maybe they made a typo for Bertrand.
Yeah. Although I can do an impression of Bert and Ernie.
Naturally, please.
Hi, Bert. Hi, Ernie. Rubber ducky.
There we
Can
go.
you say comments of the week in that voice?
No. Right. Living in Sin says what you're missing is if they start being successful. So this is when we were talking about Chinese group sets and saying what you're missing is that if they start being successful, you'll see local distributors come around and shipping times will be much shorter, warranties will be covered much more easily. But then the thing is I agree with that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that makes them cheaper is that they're selling direct. Whereas if you have a distributor in the chain, that's a middleman who has to make a profit, and that bumps the price up.
That was literally exactly what I was going to say just then. The economics of it doesn't add up, does it?
Yeah.
Underneath the bar width video, which was out last weekend, where you went to Silverstone Wind Tunnel and had a little look at how bar width affects the aerodynamics. DDM says, love this type of objective content that gives us information about where and where not to spend our cash money dollar.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it. And if that's why we say, like, if you want more of that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe, because that then helps us grow the channel, and that then gives us more resource so that we can go and do expensive things like visit wind tunnels more often. So it really does help us out.
And it's why the comments are so important, because we do take it on board. We always skim through and look at everything.
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
Up to date.
I mean, this is like as much your channel as it is ours. Like it's, you know, we're here to make content for you guys and what you guys want. So yeah, it's really important to us.
It's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Danius Visnaisuskas.
That's good. Good job on
I don't
that.
think I've got that.
They say
yeah.
it's best to choose handlebars with bike fit in mind. With that said, 38 to 40 centimetre bars tend to be the sweet spot from what I've heard.
Yeah, and again, DJ 1788 also commented on the bar video saying surely choosing handlebars based on bike fit rather than marginal aero gains would be best course of action for most riders. That was what sort of came out of that video, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the aero saving didn't appear to be that huge. So yeah, I think for most riders, in most situations, comfort should come first.
Okay.
That said, I am comfortable on 38s.
Yeah.
But
I really
I've
like
not
them.
got super wide shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm quite narrow as
Narrow
a
boy.
person. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just laughing a minute ago because I just realised why you started calling me Bertrand.
Right.
So,
yeah.
suspension video, where I was looking at suspension stems and suspension forks. Maximiliano, Bertrand did a great job explaining how mountain bikes work.
Yes, you did, Bertrand. Well done.
Thanks. I'd like to point out they weren't mountain bikes, but whatever. I get there. I get what they're getting at.
But on that video as well, Biking 360 wanted to know, so which was the most comfortable?
Oh, comfort is very much what's the word here? Objective or subjective? Because it's a matter of opinion more than like factual. So I felt mindful that I didn't want to give my opinion on comfort because it's going to vary for everybody.
But yeah, but what is your opinion on comfort? Which one did you find the most comfortable, Bertrand?
Bertrand, from that video, I think the suspension fork gives the greatest range of movement and the tunability to get it to suit your type of riding style.
There
So
we
I
go.
say that.
There's your answer. Bertrand has spoken.
Don't need to watch the video anymore.
Yeah, more comments next week.
Yeah.
Thanks. Time now for the bit you've all been waiting for, Alex's favourite part of the show, the Bike Vault, where you submit pictures of your bikes into the GCN app and we judge them to be either nice or super nice. You can vote at home with all of the bikes that are submitted, but we have the casting vote. We make the rules.
We break them too.
Yeah, and we make our own new ones. We make them.
Sort of quite an ad hoc thing, isn't it?
Most super nice bike last week, Alex. What was it?
It's from Every Day is Leg Day, but hold your horses, GCNTech viewers. What the hell is this?
That's Remco Evenepoel's bike.
It's not Remco on a burner account.
No, that doesn't look like him in the picture. That's a nice.
Yeah, you can't just
You
upload
can't
someone
submit
else's
someone
bike.
else's bike.
Nah, I'm not having it.
Unless it's your child's bike and you're doing it because you're an adult.
Okay. New rule we've added in. So first up this week we have GRGC5 with a Specialized Venge from 2020.
I miss the Venge.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it. That's a nice one. I like the spec. I like it's got a quark on it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's in Biggie Smalls.
I'm going to be positive about this week's bike vault because last week I feel was quite a negative
It's
one.
a jaunty angle, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like a nice day, and it's a nice. He's removed the gubbins. It's a nice colour. I think that's a super nice bike.
Super nice. The old bell needs a bit of work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mutini.
Mutini's next with a Villa Imperiale.
Imperiale.
Oh.
Oh, did you know I was Italian?
I think I can go super nice on that.
Yeah.
I think that's super nice. It's
I'm
presented
struggling to find fault with it.
Chain's a little bit dirty. Maybe go down the waxing route on that chain. Keep it cleaner for longer. Too much wet lube attracting all the dirt. But yeah.
Too much lube is not a good thing.
Very shiny floor though. If only the chain was as clean as the floor.
Maybe they waxed the floor instead.
Super nice.
Yeah, super nice. Yeah, boy.
Andy War as a winter DIY project for us.
Cannondale
SystemSix
SystemSix
Evo.
For 2018. Oh, I like this.
105, group set of the people. Very clean drivetrain.
Crank's not aligned, but
I'm appreciating the cleanliness. Wheels are pretty aligned. Clean, gubbins removed. Nice wall.
I'm going to overlook the cranks.
Cranks are in the wrong position. Well, suboptimal position.
I'm being upbeat this week.
That's a Superniced.
Yeah, super nice.
I do like those old Super 6s. They're great.
Abaleek
87. The 87th Abaleek.
O'Reilly Fusion Aeroad disc from 2022.
Easy.
This
That's
thing's incredible.
that's super nice.
That bike is unbelievable.
That's a beautiful looking titanium bike, isn't it?
You know, at the start of the show, about halfway through, when we said desirable custom bikes, I mean, it's
That's
gotta be up there.
that's ticking that box, isn't it?
Yeah, that's hitting that.
Very nice.
Extra ring.
Surge Nobody has a Bianchi Sempre
2011 with a nice picture above the bike.
of a
burning warship.
bird.
Why are you finding burning warship funny?
It's like a sort of. It looks like a child holding an AK-47 and then a warship like burning.
Have they got their finger up as well? Zoom right in.
Yeah.
They got their finger up.
Yeah.
They're pointing or swearing. I don't want to be rude because it's like an iconic photo.
I don't.
A painting.
That's not a photo. You got cataracts.
I said the wrong
Are you
word.
really qualified to be judging these photographs?
I said the wrong word. People submit the paintings of their
Wow,
bikes.
that's a really good photo that he's got on the wall there.
They're paintings of bikes. It's the wrong way around. You know what I mean?
Right, there's something that's bothering me about this. There's quite a bit of gubbins on there. Also, what is going on with that suboptimal bottle positioning? You're going to have one bottle, down tube, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to just pick up on that because I think it's quite a cool bike from yesteryear.
I just quite like the photo amuses me in the way that they framed in that
Specifically.
that photo of the battleship.
Whatever, I'm super nice. Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, you absolute maniac. Right, I hope you've enjoyed it. That's
both finished it
that's
nearly
all
crying.
we've got this week. It's time for whatever. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to support us. See you next one. Love you, bye.
I've had an absolute blast. Should go take some paintings.
Oh, for